Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our June affirmation elevation. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I am Jasmine Lynn Harris Packard or Erise Packard, and I am the events and development lead of Living Unfiltered. And I am here tonight to invite y'all into our affirmation elevation for the month of June. And as you can see at the bottom of my screen, our affirmation for the month of June, if you are new here and have not seen the worthy work coming out all month long, our affirmation for this month has been I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. So, I invite you in this moment to first share. I'm going to invite you to share this live event, share this video, this link, copy this link and share it even once it's done. This first 30 minutes is going to be open to the public. Okay? And after the 30 minutes, this live will end and we will open a separate link for our members only. So if you are a future member, if you are a future member, you can sign up. Uh, you can sign up for your membership to Living Unfiltered at livingunfiltered.podia.com. Okay. So I don't want you to miss out on anything. There are so many perks that come with being a member of the community online where we have built all of the things, everything from monthly podcast episodes to resources for your personal spiritual professional development, all of those things. Like, depending on the tier that you sign up for, there's an abundance of resources that you get access to. So I don't want you to miss out on those resources because you only popping in on the public live. Okay. There's that. Now, I'm going to practice what I preach, and I'm going to go ahead all over here, and I'm going to copy this link and share it, because that's what we do. Okay. We practice what we preach over here. So I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not doing. Let's go ahead and pull up this link so we can go ahead and share it to my Facebook, share it to our community online, our online group of Living Unfiltered. And I want y'all to do the same thing. I'm not going to waste too much time because we only have 30 minutes on this link together, and then we moving on. Okay. Then we're moving on. Perfect. Finally, my laptop has decided to agree with me and pull up the very first thing that I am looking for, which is exactly this link. Thank you very much. So we're just going to go ahead and copy. I would love to know in the comments how y'all are doing with this affirmation and with this month's worthy work. I really want to know, because I think that we do a disservice when we just kind of assume that everybody is in the same place, experiencing the same things. Everything is going well, everything is fine, everything is good, everything is cool. Like, to assume that everybody is in the same place is to assume that like nobody is walking their own individual journeys and assignments. So I want to know how you're doing. I want to know how you're doing with your affirmation elevation. I want to know how you feel about this affirmation specifically. Here we go. We're, I know how to spell. Live. and it's probably gonna share a crazy looking screenshot of me, a fake, a still shot of me, and that's okay because this is living unfiltered. My hair is already not doing what I want her to do. She's doing what she feels like doing, which is whatever the humidity tells her. Okay, so whatever the humidity tells her to do is what she's doing today. Me myself personally, I feel a little bit like I look like a rag doll, but you know, you you get what you get what you get. You get what you can. Hello. Okay. Okay. I'm back over here. We're back in here. When you come in the room, come on in and say hello. I see you, Dr. Gibson. Hello. Hello, everybody. Okay. Let's roll because this live, not a long one. Okay. So when we talk about I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, how does that feel on the inside? And if you have been doing the worthy work, curious to know if there's any contrast between how you are, how you feel about this affirmation from the start of the month to how you feel about it at the end of the month. Okay? I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. Do you feel like yes, that's true? Does it make you cringe a little bit? What happens for you? I want to know. I want to hear it. I want to read it rather. I want to read it. I would love to hear it, but this is not that kind of it's not that kind of live. Okay? But I would love to hear from you. Like how does it show up for you? How does it feel for you when you think about I am exactly where I'm supposed to be? Also share this link to your friends. Um to your friends, your family, and them. Okay. Because for me, the reason why I'm asking is because for me, there have been several different seasons, and I can say definitively that it is several different seasons where I have felt like I don't know if I necessarily believe that that's true. I don't know. I don't know that I believe that. I don't know that I believe that. Um, but I feel like in the processing, like something about yielding to the process is changing the way that I it's changing the way that I engage with this timing, with this perspective. And so I really would like to hear from y'all how you're engaging with it. And maybe you have done the worthy work. Maybe you haven't started it and you just are like, playing catch up. But in any case, I would like to know how are you feeling about the worthy work for I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Also, if you see me looking down, it's because my laptop is right here. Okay. But with that being said, while I wait for y'all's responses, because I know the internet be lagging a little bit and it takes a little time to get the responses up. Um, in our week one, we started talking about appointed times. Appointed times. And I highlighted very specifically like the amount of intentionality and effort that it took for God to literally make you as you are in order for you to be born at this time as you in this part of the timeline in this body that you have been born into in this family that you've been born into, like the level of intentionality and over the course of hundreds, thousands of generations, what it took to make a you right now, and how so very intentional that all is. And so I cited here that it was like it took two parents, four grandparents, it took eight great grandparents, 16 great great grandparents, 32 great 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 grandparents, etc., etc., etc. Every single one of them had to be divinely assigned to their time to get a you right now. That is a level of intentionality that we can't even fathom. We can't even understand it fully. Like I think that our brains really like struggle to piece those things together. And I do apologize right now. I'm apologize right now at this one and only time for the yapping puppies in the upstairs. Okay. I've escaped to the downstairs, but there are two dogs that can't seem to stop fussing at every squirrel that passes by, or maybe nothing at all. So there's the standalone apology. Okay, please excuse. But this is in fact living unfiltered. So not sorry? Question mark. Um, Dr. Gibson says, I feel that this is an incredibly true and aligned affirmation this month, especially the journey I've been on since the start of June. It's really been a resetting adventure. Agreed. Agreed. I feel like for me in this timing of the month of June specifically, I think I've really had to lean into like kind of like a hurry up and get content with where you are. Um so that you can appreciate it and not miss it. When it's because when the season is done, the season is done, right? When it's done, when it's a wrap, when this season of life is done, I don't want to be looking back on it regrettingly. Like being like, oh man, I wish I had done. Oh man, I wish I had settled in. I wish I had, took the time to appreciate it or breathe or whatever. Like, I don't want to look back on any of the seasons of my life and be like, man, I wish I would have, or singing my my shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shout out to Sister Act. I don't want to be out here like, living like, oh man, am I really wish I would have rested when I had the time to rest. Oh man, I really wish I would have gone out and had fun when I had the time to go out and have fun. Like me, very single girl here, okay? Very single girl, very naked finger, very single girl. Um I don't want to look back on my single life when I am married, when I have children and all these things, and look back at my single life and be like, "Oh, dang, I really had it made and I didn't take advantage of that. Oh man, I could sleep whenever I wanted to, basically, apart from working. Um, like, and I took that for granted. I really should have been sitting my tail down somewhere. I really should have been really investing my time into the work that's been laid out before me. But I didn't give it the time that it deserved. And now I don't have the time that I would have wanted for it. I don't want to look back on any season and look back on it in a in a begrudging way. So um I'm super grateful for this affirmation of, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I am um one who is like uh a person who likes to skip the process, I will say. And I know that I'm not alone in that. Um but I know that that is one thing that I can say to be true about myself, that I am having to learn how to unlearn. I'm having to undo those things. And it's not comfortable. It's not easy. And some of you saw, some of you did not see, but I recently shared I did like a 6-part series on my social media. So on my Instagram, on my personal Instagram and on my Facebook, just sharing kind of very much so this. Um what it means to be to be glad for the place that I am, to be glad for the processing that I am going through right now, that is not only building me into who I'm going to be, strengthening me for who I'm going to become, but it's also building me in this moment. It is who I am becoming right now. It is the processing of going through the work, right? Of going through the worthy work, of reading the scriptures, of like, God planning generations and generations beforehand, you know, um, from Genesis all the way up until this present time, or, making plans for our lives, and being like, I know the plans I have for you. And I do have plans for you specifically. And those are good, and they are for you to have an expected end, and for you to have hope, and for you to have a future. And it's all very, like, the language varies between translations, but it boils down to God being good and wanting good for his kids and making plans to ensure that we get to the place that he has designed for us to get to. And so I also wanted to point out that there is, like, if you noticed in week 2, we talked about times, seasons, and nostalgia. Times, seasons, and nostalgia, right? And in the prompt, we said, what if I told you that you must be able to distinguish, you must be able to distinguish between what is true in your memories from what is regret or shame or nostalgia taking over? Dare I say it is critical? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Why? Because if we are letting old times and seasons, if we are letting, and I'm making sure I'm keeping track of the time because we closing out this live at exactly 7:29, 7:30. Um, if we look back on our lives and we're looking back on other times and seasons, it's really easy for us to look back and not have a healthy whole view of where we came from, of what we have worked through, right? It's really easy to look back and let nostalgia take over or let shame and trauma take over. Like, it's really easy to look back. Like, I know for me, it takes active work for me to look back and see the good things as just good things, to see the positive experiences as just positive experiences. Because I've been through a whole lot of stuff. I've been through a whole lot of stuff in my lifetime. And one thing I can say is that if I did not do this worthy work, if I do not work through the processing of this season that I'm in, or these variations of seasons like this that I've had to go through, where it's like, no, you have to heal. In order to be the kind of person that you say you want to be, you have to do the work to heal, which means you're going to have to actually, like, confront those things that you only deem as just bad, just traumatic, just stressful, just overwhelming, or those things that's like, oh man, I look back at that time and it was just so beautiful, so wonderful. Everything was perfect. I can't believe that I don't get to live in that place. Da, 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 da. Like, that's nostalgia taking over, right? And it will have you longing for a time that's already passed. It will have you longing for a season that has been over for a long time now. And that's, you can never go back to the place, right? You can never go, we can never go back to the place that we once thought was perfect, so easy, so, we were so content, everybody had everything that they need, everything was so cool, everything was fine. Oh my gosh, the fashion, the music, the this, like, one thing about 90s babies, we're gonna be nostalgic for the 90s. Okay, we're gonna be looking back like, oh man, the clothes, the music, the yearning, and the look. First of all, I almost went on my little tangent. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but I am gonna say I do miss the yearners. Okay. um But we can't go back to the 90s. We cannot go back to the 90s. As much as we may want, I don't know what other people call them, but I call them swishy. I call them like swishy pants. You know what I'm saying? Swishy soup. Um, and I was born in 1990, so maybe people that are older than me called it something else, and maybe it had a more real name. Real name. But to me, as a baby in the 90s, it was a swishy. Them swishy pants with the windbreakers, those. Um, I can't go back to those. I can't go back to those days. And one thing that I have had to learn and that I am actively having to walk through now is getting present, because if I am looking back at times and seasons, there are some things in my past that I'm like, when I look back on my childhood, or I try to recall things and the recall just is not coming up because too many things went wrong at that in that season of life, and my brain just was like, zoop, we blocked that out. Actually, no. We don't ever want to go back there. It can be really easy to look back to look back at a series of bad things and be like, in the same with the same kind of energy, right? With the same kind of energy that we would look back in nostalgia and be like, man, I wish I could go back there. Oh, it's not the same. Oh, da, 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 da. And the same way you can't go back there for that, you can't go back there and change that. Like, and it is critical. It is absolutely critical that we do not live in the place where we once were, everything was wrong, things were harmful, there were hurts, there were things like that, right? Like, we can't go back there and change it. We can heal now. We can engage and heal. We can learn language for it. We can go to therapy. We can take it to God in prayer. But like, we can't change what happened. We can't go back there and change. So it is absolutely critical, if you're going to heal in real life, if we're going to do if we're going to say that we're doing the real healing work, and the worthy work of undoing in order to become, it is imperative that we remember that it is all times and seasons, and that we must remember that we are exactly where we're supposed to be, that we cannot go back and change the past. You made a mistake, you can't go back there. Okay. Even part of your worthy work, it says spend some time journaling. Um, and when you think of your childhood, that first love, that learning something new, the making of that big mistake, what comes up? What filters are you seeing your life through? Are you seeing them through like a very nostalgia, rose colored glasses type of, filter? Are you seeing them through some like dingy, dark gray, hurtful, harmful, semi-rotten place type of filter? What filter are you seeing your life through? And why? And like, you need to like investigate why. Why do those filters need, why are you looking at it through those filters? And also, why do those filters need to come off? Because they do need to come off. They do need to come up. There's nothing wrong with being nostalgic for a moment and being like, oh man, I remember that. That was so good. But there is something wrong when looking back causes discontent in your current season. There is something wrong when looking back has you yearning for what once was instead of what is right now and where you're headed to. So that's it for the public live right now. Before we get out of here, for those of y'all that are popping in, I want to invite you, because either you're a member or you're a future member, okay? Love that you are showing up to the public live, but there's so much more to gain within the community. Yes, Dr. Gibson said we can also look back and wallow in a way that forfeits the present. Yes, that is exactly what I was saying. Because if you're stuck in a place where you're looking back and you're like, oh man, it was so bad, it was so terrible, da, 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 like, it's really easy for your mind to go to a place where that's all there is, and never move beyond that, never get to the goal, never reach to the place of healing, never get to the place where things are good, where you can build from, where you can become. It's expensive. It's expensive. Um, and we don't want to pay that cost. Okay. So before we close out this public live and shift over to our members only, I want to invite you in here. Okay. You can become a member, future members. You can become a member by signing up with us to become a member over at livingunfiltered.podia.com. Livingunfiltered.podia.com. Let me write it in here. .podia.com. And you can sign up for any of the tiers available. We have options for each bracket. You know, some people, they limited funds, and they're like, look, I really want access to the to the full lives. I really want to be in there when when you guys are doing special events. I really want to know first what's going on. I want to be able to, upgrade my membership and tap into some of these even more extra resources. But if you are like, and not but, and you also are, if you're signing up for our highest tier, you also have the option to join us in there. And in there, you also have access to coaches in various professions. You have access to all kinds of resources. You have access to a ticket for an event of your choosing throughout the year, because we host events throughout the year. And you want to be in there. So don't miss out. Do not miss out. I want you to sign up for your membership. You see it down in the comment section. Go ahead and sign up. Okay? Go ahead and join us. Join the community. Get the newsletter. Find out what's going on. And before we get up out of here, just in case y'all was unsure of the time, the season, huh? We are closing out June, and our unfiltered retreats is the first weekend. First weekend. Do not mess around and be thinking, oh, it's at Christmas time. No, it's not. It's a month before. Okay? Basically, it's a month before. If you are looking to come to the retreat this year, it is a small retreat. It is very, very close, very intimate. It will be taking place on December 4th, 5th, and 6th, 2026. Okay? And you do not want to miss your opportunity. You can also register for the retreat on right there in our link, right there in the comments. You can also register for the retreat, okay? And if you have questions, feel free to email us over at livingunfilteredus@gmail.com, okay? We want to hear from you. We want to answer your questions. We want to make sure that you are situated. There are payment plans, unlike any payment plan we've ever had before. But the longer you wait, time is winding down, and I don't want your spot going missing because you didn't ask your questions, because you didn't inquire, because you didn't lean in. Okay, so log in, get in there, get into the membership, register for the retreat, and we're gonna see you in December. But there will be more. There'll be plenty more updates coming up. But we get away, we unplug, and we get away into the mountains, into some lake area, some kind of something. Okay, we always draw away. Location is reserved for those that are registered. Okay, so we will see you next time. I am exactly where I am supposed to be. Say it out loud. I am exactly where I am supposed to be. I am exactly where I am supposed to be. All right. See you on the other side. Bye.